Gertrude Werk. My maiden name was Mann. Yeah, Bear Woman was the Bear Woman gave me her name. She died in 34 and I was born in 34 and she died in 35. Hayes, all my life. I was born in the hospital when it was first built in June 29, 34. I'm a Grovon. My mom is Mildred Mount and my dad is Frank Mann. Well, see, the ones that were alive was Gertrude Hawley, and she was married to Dave Hawley, and my real grandpa is Bob Mont. My kids, first one is Clyde, Don, Bill, Warren, Marlene, Frank, Laura, Kenny, and I raised my sister Christine when she was about 3 years old, I think. Well, Grovont is a Grovont, I guess. Yeah, I'd rather be a Grovont than anything else. I first and second grade up the mission because we didn't have a hay school, and then they built a little white house, and so I went there till I was a senior, and then I went to Flandre 4 years. Yeah, I got three squares meals, and I didn't have to go into the bathroom, and I could shower, go to the bathroom, and a good bed. I could sleep by myself, not with my brothers and sisters. She all depends on what she had. We had a garden and spuds and carrots and that stuff, and my dad would hunt and he'd get a deer, so we ate deer, but we had to make dry meat out of it because we didn't have a fridge or a freezer. We had fresh meat for about 2 days and the rest made up dry meat. Growing up, well, all we had was horses around here. We rode horses, rode up the canyon, walked around the canyon, and yeah, we're lucky we had the canyon, the mountains here. Yeah. Well, I used to ride all the time. I used to have to help my husband when he had to corral horses or cows, and I liked to ride. I liked horses. Growing up, yes, I heard my mother and dad used to talk, but they'd stop talking when I'd come home because they didn't want us to learn our language back then. I just know a few words that we kids knew, yeah. No, never. Just when I went to Flandre. I like it here. This is my home. I don't want to go anyplace. Well, I worked as a CHR. Back then it was home visits and help people and help them with their medicines and stuff like that. Yeah, and that's the only job I had. I got married. That year was it 74, I think it was. No, it was earlier than that. It was about 72, I think, because I got my house built in 74. Growing up, yeah, we used to go down the agency when they had the sun dances. We'd catch rides, or either we'd go with somebody. And the first time I went was my mom and her and Christine Cole were riding with old Dave Fleury, and we had to ride in the rumble seat. But we couldn't go close to that place. They had logs around it, and kids couldn't go close to it. Yeah, I was at the mission school. I had to go to church, yeah. But later on, I had to go to church, and when I was 6 years old, to make my first communion. That's the only time I went there. I didn't like the mission. Yeah, the nuns were too mean. Well, we had to climb a lot of stairs to get up to our first room, and then later on we went down to the next room, down, and then the basement was where we ate, and we had toilets outside. And yeah, we had some, I don't know what you'd call it, the thing that spins. Yeah, yeah, and yeah, that's about all we had around there. They need, well, I don't need nothing. I got what I want here. That some of them need to be checked on sometime. I had a friend here that was living alone, and she finally had to go to the rest home. I got I don't know how many of them I got that went to the rest home. Yeah, my friends, my age. Yeah, my Indian name was Aaniiih, and Waswoos, and some words like that. I named my cat Waswoos, bear cat. Yeah, there's just some that, but not too much. Just some that the kids said. But we didn't really talk. We couldn't talk. Yeah, they wouldn't let us learn how to talk. Yeah, I would want to. Yeah, but my mom and dad wouldn't let me listen to them when I wanted to learn, but nobody would teach us. Well, when I was growing up, we had to ride horses to go any place, and we swam in the creek. I lived over there in a log house, and we had a creek, so we got to swim in the creek. And sometimes we'd ride up to the canyon and get off and pick berries and eat berries. Yeah. Yeah. My granddaughter danced, and we went to a lot of, me and my daughter, Cassie, she danced. She was a good dancer. We traveled a lot. I liked them. No, I didn't know how. Well, my dad was a fiddle player. He played the fiddle, and he played for dances here. But I was too young to go to dances. Yeah, and then he left us and remarried, so we just grew up with our mom. No, I don't bead, but when I was young, my grandma taught me how to bead, but we didn't have beads. I couldn't afford beads. Jeez, who the heck was that? I don't know. There was a lot of people that I had. I had a grandma that lived back here, or she was my husband's mother. She was a nice lady, and she taught some how to cook and stuff like that. Yeah, I just didn't know. Well, I didn't know anybody else. I knew who my relatives were, but I never visited them. Well, the best part of my life was in Flandreau, where we got to go to town and we got to go to dances and movies. Never went to movies till I went to Flandreau, so they'd have something every weekend, so a dance or movies, and then they'd let us go to town. I think that's my best part of my life was in Flandreau. Well, there's hardly any left. But they're kids. But yeah, that I remember going down the agency, and this old lady was my great grandmother. She was, and I had a relative, and we were young. We was outside, and she came out and she hung up a puppy, and she went back in, and we went and took him down and was playing with him, and she came out. She really gave us heck. She thought he was ready. Yeah, the best part is I liked riding horses, and we used to ride horses. We used to go right down to Gene Cole's, and he'd have some rodeos down there and stuff. We rode down the flat all the way home. Yeah, yeah, Clyde. We had 8 kids, and my sister, I raised her. She was 3 years old. And then later on, my mom went and left us, and I had to take care of, let's see, five of her kids. And then my oldest brother took my brother next to him. They went to California, so I still had 4 left with that youngest one. So I raised a lot of kids.